In this video, we're going to discuss the concept and the problems on the successive percentage change concept. So what is successive percentage change? The term itself says successive. That means it should be continuous basically, right? It should be a continuous. Or it can be one after the other, increment or decrement. Right? For example, I'll tell you a small case. With that, you'll just get to know how actually this question can be solved. For example, let's go with this one. Let me say today you have taken a count of people, right? And the count of people you got is 100 people, right? So what happened after today? That is day one. So let us consider day one as tomorrow. Everybody, tomorrow as day one. So what happened tomorrow? Tomorrow after the very first day, people got increased by let us say 10%, right, on the day one. Now, so after day one, which is day two also people got increased by how much percentage? By this time 20%. So the question I would be asking you is a very simple one. How many people are there? How many people are there after 2 days? After 2 days. That means by the end of second day or the third day starting, how many people are there? Right? Now, if I ask you this question, immediately people will be start thinking, okay, first day it is 10% plus second day it is 20%. So overall increment is 30% increment. That means out of 100, 30% of 100 increase means so 130 people should be there after 2 days if you will say that, right? But I'm sorry, you are wrong. This is a very, very wrong calculation. Why? I'll tell you, right? Let us go step by step. Right, everybody? That means, for example, let us take on the day one. Right? Let us talk about day by day. Now, initially, how many are there? Count. So people are 100 number. Right? Now, on day one, there is an increment that happened. Right? Now, by how much percentage? By a percent of 10%. So can I say 10% of 100 would give me a 10? That means the new count after the day one is how much, everybody? Initially 100, but on the day one there is an increment of 10 people, and that says 110 is the count of the people after the first day. By the end of day one, I can say that. By the end of day one, right? Similarly, there is an increment happen on the day two also. How much percentage? This time 20%. But people tell me 20% on 100. No, not 20% on 100. Why? Because the current population only you can take 20% on the day two now. So on day two or by the start of day two, how many are there? 110 people are there. So now it's going to be increment of 20% on 110. That's going to give me 22 are going to get increased. That says, everybody, with the 110 people you have on the day two starting, you are going to get increased by 22, and that's going to give me 132 count by the end of day two. Is that crystal clear, everybody? What made you got the 130 as the answer, and what exactly 132 should be the answer? Why? Because you took 110 and 20% on same value, which is actually 100, but is not 100. 10 on 100 and 20 on the previous data, that is 110. Right, everybody? But can you do like this step by step for every question, each and every? No, this is gonna take some time. So these are called like time taking process. Time taking. But I'm gonna tell you a way simpler method where you're gonna get the answer through a problem or through a I can say a formula very easily. Right? Let me just discuss that. So same question I'm gonna take. Right? So initially 100 people are there, no? Initially total count. Now, so if you observe, there is something happened. There is an increment happened, right? On day one, 10% increment. On day two, 20% increment, right? Now, so here comes the formula. The formula is actually called as the overall percentage increment or decrement. Right, everybody? Now, as yes, exactly, overall a percentage increment. What is overall? Now, the formula is very simple. A plus B plus AB upon 100. Now when you can apply this? Only when there is a successive change. Successive means continuous, one after the other, immediate, first day, second day, third day. There should not be like first day and then somewhere in random, etc., etc. I cannot do that. Right? It should be a successive one, one after the other. Right? Now where I'm gonna give you one more additional data. Right, everybody? For example, if the very first year or anyone, very first year or first day or first case, right? If it is any, it will be basically taken as whatever the first one will be basically taken as A, and that too, if it is an increment, we'll take plus A, and if it is a decrement, we'll take it as minus A. Now whereas the second day or the second year or any aspect, we basically call it as B with B variable. Whereas same, if increment, it is positive B, if decrement, it will be taken as a negative B. I hope you all understood these 4 points very clearly, dears. Right, in our question what happened? Tell me again, definitely successive only, first day, second day, so that's a success, so we can apply the formula. But you tell me what is the value of A and what is the value of B. Here if you observe, both are increments only, and that says both must be positive values. But what is the value of A? A means first, that means plus 10, whereas B means second, which means plus 25, because increase only, plus 10 into plus 20 upon 100. Now 2 zeros gets cancelled, and that's going to save me 10 plus 20, if I'm not wrong, 30. 30 plus 2 into 1, 2, and that's going to give me plus value of 32%. Plus refers to increment. So overall, there is an increment of 32%. Right, everybody? So that says initially 100 plus 32% of 100 will give me a 132 as my answer. Or overall percentage, initially 100 plus 32, that's going to give me 132% of 100. That quickly gives me 132 as my answer. Right? Anyone you can take it. Actually, it's the shortest form. You basically take this as 100% of 100 plus 32% of 100, and you take 100 as common, and that's going to give you 100 plus 32 will give you 132% of 100. Right? I hope you all understood this formula, dears. Overall percentage increment or decrement can be taken in the form of only two entities only can be taken, only two values. That means the very first entity and the second entity. Right? Now I know. So what if there are three? I'll take an example, don't worry. Right? Now let me go with the question so that you can understand it better. Okay, here the population of a village decreases the rate of 20% per annum. Okay, for every year, annum means year, so it gets a decrement, decreases by 20%. If it's a population 2 years ago, was talks about the past. So in the past, which is basically 2 years ago, the population was basically 10,000 given. Right? And every year there is a decrement of minus 20%. Now mostly people will think, okay, each year it is 20%, means 2 years it would be 40% decrement, and that says out of 100, 40 gets decreased. It should be 60% of 10,000 should be the overall, and that says 6,000 must be the answer, which is option A you'll keep. But again, I'm sorry, you are wrong. Why wrong? I'll tell you. Now, but by the way, everybody, are we going to do year by year? No, we have again a successive one after the other 2 years down the line. So one after the other. So that says here, first year, first annum or year, there is a decrement of 20%. Similarly, second year also there is a decrement of 20%. Why? Because given this constant rate of 20% per annum. Right? Now we have a overall percentage formula, A plus B plus AB upon 100. You are going to tell me what is A value. A value should be the very first, as it's a decrement, it is a minus 20. Plus B value also it's a decrement, so it is again a minus 20. Plus minus 20 into minus 20 upon 100. Of 2 zeros gets cancelled. Minus 20 will give me minus 40. Minus 40 plus of minus into minus will give me plus, 2 into 2 will give me 4. So that's going to give me minus 36% overall decrement. Minus refers to a decrement of 36%. So out of 10,000, if a decrement of 36% has happened, so what must be the answer, everybody? So out of 10,000, 3,600 dead means what is a new present population, everybody? 6,400 should be the population. Or you can also do it in this way. If overall percentage, I'm talking about overall, 100 minus 36 will be 64% of 10,000 should be alive after 2 years down the line. And that says 6,400 must be the answer. But everybody, I hope this is very easy solution if I'm not wrong. Right? No need to go, okay, 10,000 minus 20% is, so that would give me 10,000 minus 20% of 10,000 means minus 2,000. So 10,000 minus 2,000, 8,000. So after first year, 8,000 will be there. And then again, out of 8,000, 20% will die. So 1,600 will die. That means 8,000 minus 600 will give me 64. Not required. So directly after this step, you can easily find out the answer. 36 means out of 100, 36 gone means 64 must be the only right answer. And that says option C. Right? So simple. Now moving on to one more. Okay, here comes your doubt, which is having 3 years. Okay, the population of a village is, that means present population is given. Right? So tenses are very important when it comes to population questions or basically this type of questions. 10,000 given. Now, so first year given, there is an increment of 20%. Okay, that's fine. Now, second year gives a given increment of decrement of 40% this time. Right? Whereas the third year, again, there is an increment of 30%. But people, I told you, overall percentage change, increase or decrease can only happen between how many entities? Only 2 entities. But I have here 3 entities. Did we discuss any formula for 3 entities? No. And do not apply any such formulas, even there are any, because that confuse a lot and a lot. I'll tell you a very simple procedure. Just listen to me. Look, I can apply only 2 now, and that 2 can only be in an order, in a continuous order. That means the first 2 means only the first 2 should be taken. I cannot take, okay, one value as plus 20 and the second value as plus 30. Why? Because after plus 20 it is minus 40 now. So how can you take minus 30 directly without taking minus 40 as consideration? So I'll consider these 2 as the first 2 values, A plus B plus AB by 100. Right, everybody? And that's going to give me A means increment, so plus 20. B means decrement, so minus 40, plus of 20 into minus 40 upon 100. Now 2 zeros gets cancelled. That's going to give me minus 20 minus 8, because 2 into 4, 8, and plus into minus. So that becomes minus 28% overall decrement for the first 2 years. But can I say this is my final answer? 10,000 minus 2,800 will be my final answer? No, definitely not. Why? Because there is one more increment now. So this is considered as a second year now. Everybody. So for these 2 will apply the A plus B plus AB by 100 concept. I hope you all are clear now, everybody. Right? And that says A means decrement, so that says minus 28. And D talks about the increment, because given increment directly now, so that says plus 30. Plus of 28 into minus 28 into plus 30 upon 100. Now 1010 gets cancelled. Minus 28 plus 30 will give me plus 2 into minus, because plus into minus is minus. Now 60, 24, that will be 84, but 84 upon 10 will give me 8.4. So overall, there should be a decrement of 6.4%. Right? So that says, everybody, out of 10,000, if I'm not wrong, 640 will die. Why? Because 6.4% of 10,000 will give me 6.4, 640 only. 2 zeros gets cancelled. So 6.4 into 100 will give me 640. Right? So minus. So that would give me 0, 6, and then if I'm not wrong, 3, and then 9. Yeah, that says 9360. Option D must be the answer. But everybody, I hope you all understood what to do when you have 3. Now, if you have 4, for example, if you have any fourth value, any increment or decrement, you'll take this 6.4 as a third entity, and then 6.4 and then the fourth entity. I hope you all understood the point. Yes. Yes. So final overall percentage change. Final overall percentage decrement happened. Why? Because minus talks about the decrement now. Yes. Right. Now, so that's all in this video. I hope